Things are heating up in St. Louis, and I'm not talking about the weather. Rather, I would call it a quickening of love. I would call it a fierce love manifest. It's that time of year for us when moms and dads and daughters and sons arrive on the shores of our city with bags packed and tensions running high. Anticipation is in the air, anticipation of a new beginning, and with it, anticipation of an ending, a big ending, a new goodbye. This one likely, for most families, deeper than any before. A goodbye that for some is not as terrible as anticipated, maybe even a relief, but a goodbye that for most leaves a trail of tears in the car driving away or on the plane flying home later today. I have come to light a fire, a new fire on the earth. Oh, how I wish it were ignited. Jesus speaks of a love that is at its fiercest, a love that hurts, willingly hurts. A fierce love. A fierce love is your love for your kids and your grandkids. It's a caring you choose that runs so deep that you know from the very beginning, the first heartbeat, their first breath outside of your body, you know from the beginning this is going to hurt someday or many days. A fierce love that is courageous, truly courageous love. It's what I see in parents who can and do say to their kids, young and older now, I'm going to tell you this. You may hate me for it, but I'm going to tell you because I love you. And that fierce love is not from parent and only to child. That's from spouse to spouse. It's from friend to friend. Everybody who loves deeply and fiercely should be able to, and actually should be saying actually to each other in these words or others, I'm going to tell you this. You may hate me for it, but I'm going to tell you because I love you. That's a fierce love. A fierce love is saying goodbye, knowing that they're not all the way ready to go. They're equipped as you could help them be, but as a matter of fact, they're not as equipped as they will need to be. And a fierce love knows that you're saying goodbye knowing they're not all the way ready, knowing they will fail, and knowing you can't protect them, and yet knowing that if they stay at home, that might be terrible. A fierce love is being so hurt by your kids that it's hard to be a cheerleader for them when it hurts that bad. And a fierce love is hurting so much for them. So much for them. Jesus uses in the gospel, you just heard the words anguish. I came to light a fire on this earth, how I wish it were ignited. And he says, I'm in anguish until it is completed, until it's done, until the whole world catches on fire with this fierce love, he says. In anguish for them to make it, for your kids to make it in life, in their marriages, in their vocations of any sort, in their careers, to make it, to end well in every way. Most parents are in anguish until that's done, until that is completed. And all along the way, parent with a fierce love is evaluating again and again what's healthy helping here, what's healthy helping, and what's not. No easy answers ever for those questions. Am I helping too much? Am I helping too little? Am I too in their face? Am I too far away? Anguish in anguish until it is accomplished. And a fierce love is God's love for us. If you think you have a fierce love for your kids, and I suspect most all of you would say you do, if you have a fierce love for your kids, can you imagine that you could love your kids more than God loves you? No. Therefore, God's love for you is even fiercer for you, and for you to accomplish what you were meant to accomplish, for you to end well, 1,000 million times more than your fierce love for your kids to make it. That's for you, that fierce love. Think for a second how fierce your love is for your children to be well, and then imagine that even more intensified in God for you. You can't love more than God loves. Therefore, it's a given to say you are loved with the same intensity, the same anguish, until you are everything you were meant to be. And that fierce love for us will be there right here for your kids. If you're dropping your kids off this morning, that fierce love will be here for your kids starting college, and you know what? It'll be there for you when you get back home. It'll be there for you when you get back home as well. My friends, our hearts are designed to love so fiercely, even to the point of breaking our hearts. Our hearts are designed for a fierce love. This community, in this community, a fierce love is the love with which we will do our best to love the children you leave behind. This community, called the Catholic Student Center, this Newman community, will do its absolute best to provide the oxygen that your kids need to keep the fire burning in them throughout these years, when there's many times they'll want to give up or put their heart up on a shelf and not get that close ever again. So much so that when that May Day arrives in 4 years and we say goodbye to your kids, now adults, it will be our turn to touch fire. I say that personally after 29 years of goodbying. It never gets easy, but it will be our turn to touch fire. Burning with love can only mean getting burned by love. This is a weekend for us of burning, of fierce love manifest. Things are heating up in St. Louis, and that's what makes it good to be here, and be here together, and be here right now, right here.